Hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, 4 absolutely insane rescue dogs, rescue cat, and 3 rescue guinea pigs who likes to craft in her spare time, has gone back to school to learn ASL, and is trying to train for Ironman. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a message to boost my serotonin and my self-esteem, and I could use that. And if you're returning here, you already know the crazy you're in for, so grab your drink, sit on back, and let's have at it. So I debated filming today or filming tomorrow night after I talked to the cardiologist and did all that running around, and was hoping that maybe tomorrow I'd have more to show you. But yeah. So what I may do is go ahead and upload this after I'm done filming, of course, and then if I feel like I can't wait until after StitchCon next week to give you the update, then I will film a part B and go from there. I'm not really worried. I'm not going to worry. Trouble, worry. I have lost my stitchy bug. And of all the flippin' times to lose a stitchy bug, y'all, I leave Thursday morning for StitchCon. It's Sunday night. I have no stitchy bug. 0. I have 0 pull to any project other than the periodic table about what to take with me. Where I'm being pulled to are not things I can take to StitchCon, because I'd like to work on things on my Cricut. Can't take my Cricut to StitchCon. I'd like to sew. Can't take sewing stuff to StitchCon unless it's hand sewing, and I don't necessarily want to do that. The only project I really kind of want to drag out is a periodic table, which will go to StitchCon because Pam is from Just Keep Stitching has asked to see the progress every year kind of thing, and God knows at the rate I'm going, it's going to take forever. But other than that, no. I don't know what to do. And even though I know the people I'm sitting with, and I know that I get to finally meet Jessie, who films under the flosstube and the Instagram Bobo Stitches, Jessie Bobo Stitches, which I am absolutely excited about. I'm so excited to see Stephanie and Nicole and Rin and Carrie and everybody. Like I'm so excited. Like, have I put together table gifts for anybody? Nope. Have I sent over my floss drops to Vistaprints? Did I send those over to get printed? No, to the point where now that if I'm going to do stitch floss drops, which I would like to do them, and has been the plan all along, I'm going to have to send them to like Kinko's, where they can turn them around basically in 24 hours. Have I designed and sent over the postcard for the pattern? No. Have I done the table tents to hold the floss thread wax for each of the tables? No. I had this lovely plan, this lovely list of things I was going to do last week. None off that list. In fact, let me just tell you. So I actually went and I had to go back and I was like, what exactly is my list again? Because yeah, you know what I did? I ordered from Bobby the 2 patterns I was going to look for at StitchCon. Let's see. Did I drink more water? Yes, most days I did. Did I design the pattern for StitchCon? No, I did not. Did I eat more fruits and vegetables? Probably overall, I would say yes. Did I fill the holes in the wall in? No, because every time I went to grab what I thought was the spackle, I actually was grabbing the bucket of thin set mortar, and I just was getting so frustrated with everything. So no. Did I cricket the iron-ons? Nope. I weeded the one, and it's ready to get ironed on, but I'm not going to pull out that honking machine and learn it until I have all of the iron-ons ready to go. So no. Did I do knitting? I did. And that's a whole subject we're going to talk about as well. Did I work on billing? Surprisingly, I did. In fact, I have a consult coming in Wednesday night. I have a couple other things. So yeah, it's been busy. I have a couple other meetings and court hearings this week. Did I bike 3 times? No. Did I bike? Yes. Did I bike the 3 times? No. Mostly because I have been battling migraine after migraine after migraine. And if the other adult in this house doesn't turn down his fucking TV, excuse my language, I'm going to yank the cord out of it and throw it out the front door. My patience level is at an all-time low. Yeah. So did I sew? No, I did not. So while I set great goals, I got basically none of it done. So should I bother to set goals for this week? Other than packing for StitchCon? Probably not. I do need to get homework done between today and tomorrow. Tomorrow morning I have to go and get my blood drawn. I went to go do it today and realized that the lab was closed. Um, mm-hmm. My dogs are almost out of food, so I have to run to the Tractor Supply store. Oreo likes to sleep in my clean clothes basket with the clean clothes in it. So essentially, if you're going to be sitting next to me at StitchCon, just be prepared. I will probably smell like dog. Welcome to my world. Going to try my best not to smell like dog, but I make no promises. Let's see. Yeah. So, what did I do? So glad you asked. If you all remember, I borrowed a pattern from a sorority sister of our sorority armorial bearings, so our crest, essentially. And I wanted to make a working copy and get that back to her because I feel awful. Like that freaks me out, borrowing somebody's pattern, and oh my god, what happens if it gets lost? So I'm hoping this weekend at StitchCon that maybe I can pick her up a cute little gift or something that I can send back with the pattern as a thank you. What that will be, I don't know. When she sent me the pattern, she sent me lovely floss drops. So of course I will send her floss drops because I will get those done. So I'm thinking that maybe I will, and that pattern is essentially 3 colors. Let me just double check that as I say that. It's 4. It's got black. We all know I am taking the Mega Cone of Doom with me. because I will take the periodic table. So I'm thinking that maybe for my stitch, like maybe I might work on this at StitchCon. But that said, I don't know. I don't know, because it's one of those that it's going to take mega concentration and counting. And yeah, no, that's not going to happen at StitchCon. We all know that. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. We all know that we are all going to be yakking our running our mouths. We are going to be chatting, and that is what StitchCon is really about. And so I need patterns that are not going to require, like, if y'all have been with me for a while, you'll remember the Marine Corps emblem. That is not a project to take to StitchCon. No. The other thing that I'm thinking is, okay, so we've had Oreo about a month now. My friend Kevin hates his name, hates it. He said, no, that's kind of a racial slur. Not even crossed my mind when we named him Oreo. We were looking for an O name, and Oreo fits. Oreo is an Australian heeler, which is a cattle dog. So when he gets bored, he gets into everything. Add to that, he is we were told he was about 18 months. Now, I have been searching online for information because his coloring is dramatically, he's changing colors. He was white with like just a few little black specks over him, plus the black ears. Hold please. Hold please. Okay. So, I don't think his age is right. I know with a Dalmatian, they generally get their spots starting at what, like 4 months, 3 months, and their spots are kind of finished by the time they're a year. He's getting massive color, like he's getting massive spots all over, and his muzzle is darkening. So I don't know if it's like, and I'm trying to look online about Australian healers. He is an Australian healer. And when their colors may change, and I still don't understand. Which scares me because it's like she hasn't gotten me any vet records that they were supposed to. So it's like, how much other stuff did they lie about with this dog? Okay. So, speaking of vets, Houdini is the world's most expensive cat in my world, at least. The first vet visit cost me $535 last Monday. You heard me right. $535. And they were like, you probably want to check him into a 24-hour like emergency vet to give him IV, to have his blood. And I was like, and what are our other choices? Because I knew that would be thousands. I don't know what it would cost at other places, but around here that would be thousands. And I'm not trying to be mean, but we're talking a 16, almost 17-year-old cat. She said, well, we could try this. We could try antibiotic shot. We've done subcutaneous fluids. You guys could keep an eye on him. We could try this other med. So we have this med that you had to rub on his ear, one ear, like twice a day. So you had to rotate which ears. That would sort of encourage his appetite. I'm like, do they need to make like the antithesis of that? So that like you could rub it on my ears and I would not want to eat. Although granted, lately I haven't really wanted to eat, but so we did that and some other meds, and and then I went and got the food that he was eating before he came to us, and we've tried some other foods, and some of them he'll eat and some of them he doesn't like. But I was like, you know what, let's take out all the variables. Let's go grab some of those food. We knew he was still liking catnip. So after that visit, then he likes the little cat treats, Temptations. I don't know who makes them, whatever. But I buy them I bought like a big bucket full. I was like, look, and even the vet is like, look, if he'll eat those, let him eat those right now. Right now, it's more important to kind of keep him to get him eating fluid, taking in more fluid, so that we are not having like this whole systemic shutdown. They did blood work. Hold please, he's got a shoe. Okay, so, and then we went back on Wednesday, which was another $265 for follow-up blood work, which at that point looked much better. And part of that was, so like we had been prepared for the worst. Like he had low white and red blood cell count on Monday. It was like just barely into the normal range, and she was like, it could be an infection, we could be facing cancer, we don't know. And part of that, or he could just be a cat who's always kind of at the lower end of normal, and we don't know because the previous owner didn't do their due diligence as pet owners. And, you know, as we all know, lied about several things. And one of those was the vetting of this cat previously. So we had to like figure out what is his baseline, what is normal for him. Like, is this normal? Is this not? Is this a sign of something like far worse? Anyways, Houdini is doing great. Needless to say, $700 and some later, Houdini's doing great. So my question with Oreo is, if anybody is familiar with Australian healers, is that common at like 18 months to be changing colors? Or is this something like after StitchCon, maybe I should get him into a vet and have him totally checked? I mean, because I can go to one place where they will do like his shots for dirt cheap. And if all he needs is his shots updated so that I can go and get his licensing, which I need to do, then that's fine. I mean, because then you're talking like $50 versus several $100s. But now I'm like, how do you check to make sure a boy dog has been fixed? I mean, I think I'm 99% sure, but then I was like, I'm second guessing everything. At the end of the day, I'm just second guessing everything. So that's where we are. Yeah. So, on Saturday, Bean and I, okay. So what have I been doing? I've actually been doing multi-crafting. Mostly I've been working and just kind of, honestly, I've been sleeping a lot. So I don't know. I don't have, like, I think it's just the weather and the migraine and the one med for migraines, which I definitely want to get refilled before I go to StitchCon, so that I have that on hand and stuff. But that med makes me extremely sleepy. So, yeah, so I've been sleeping a lot. Okay. So, Bean and I on Sunday, the Sign Club, which is our like organization at school for all of us interpreting students, hosted an event where we had a deaf artist come in. So, deaf artist. She came in and she taught a class, which was really cool. So, Bella and I, we went, and so, this is Beans, which I absolutely love. And yes, that is the flag. It is the flag for being asexual. So, totally Beans' decision, and I love this. I love this piece. I cannot wait to find the right spot to hang these up, because if you know anything about me, You know how much I love and support my kids. So I'm hoping that's my screen grab, and if it is, I think that's fantastic. So that's beans. And I haven't hung them up yet because I wanted to show you guys, and I didn't want to hang them up and then take them down and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, so, and here's mine. And I just realized that I have the most funky shaped hands in mine, and I don't care. But how pretty is that? So, would I do this again? Absolutely. I hope maybe next time they will offer, like maybe not only the sign for interpreter, but maybe other options too. I was thinking the sign for friend would be really cool. She did give us the graph paper and the tracing paper, so I was like, I could absolutely run up to Michael's and just buy some 8x10 canvases and do our own, because I was thinking doing friend would be cool, like to have like kind of like a series on the wall. So interpreter, friend, what else? I always go, what? It's like, what? I think I told you guys I got my sign names. That's Kelly. So yeah, so we did that on Saturday, and that was a big thing. And then we went out for ice cream after. Um, what else? Otherwise, okay. So, um, I did not pull out my sewing machine, so I'm behind on that. But dude, life, I'm behind on everything. Okay, so I am doing the pattern test knit for the Stegosaurus sweater. The Stego sweater. I call them Stegomosauruses, Stegosaurus, whatever. Okay. So the first issue I had was it was cast on with a yeah, that. Okay. Something twisted. Is it a German twisted cast on? Well, that's a good question. Yes, a German twisted cast on. Still don't know how to do that. My mother did that, is what I realized in watching those videos. That is how my mother knits. When she casts on, she casts on with the German twisted cast on. She was no help. She hasn't knit in years, but whatever. She wasn't available to help me. Just so Jessica sent me Stitches of Sass, sent me a great video tutorial on a different way of casting on, and I don't remember what it's called, but pick that up. 1, 2, 3, got it straightened out. Okay. So then I worked my pattern, and I had to learn to do German short rows. Did I know how to do a German short row? Not a clue. Not a clue. Had to work my way through many tutorials to figure that out. Had to unstitch because I had done it wrong. Okay, and I don't know how to put in a lifeline. Like when you're knitting and you do that so that if you have to frog back, you can just rip it out to that point and then you can. Didn't know how to do that. So I literally was like, I'm either going to have to frog this out stitch by stitch, 5 or 6 rows, or I'm going to have to just tear it out and start all over again. I elected to sit down that same night, and I took them out stitch by stitch by stitch. And I know, Jessica, you are screaming at the TV. I get it. Okay. One day, hopefully in the near future, you and I, like, we don't, like, I know you live in Tennessee, right? I think, I don't know. You live down south somewhere. On this side of the Mississippi. because I'm in Michigan. So it's not like it's that far. Like that we couldn't plan a girls' weekend somewhere. Okay. And then I will just come and cry on your shoulder and you can teach me all the knit things because right now I am sucking at the knit things. Okay. So we get through that and I re-put on in all of those stitches. And I was like, woo, look at me. I am amazing, right? Okay. So then the next issue I had in my sweater is that it's two colors. It's two colors in the same row. Do I know how to do that? No, I did not. No, I did not. Nope. Can we say that again? No. Wait, we're batting 1,000 because now we're on the third thing in this sweater. I don't know how to do. But I'm like, what the hell? So I learned it because not only does the pattern designer include some great YouTube links, but Jessica sent me great YouTube links. Okay, so here's the thing. I was going to knit it in this beautiful sea glass. I think it's actually called Mint. It's called Mint. It reminds me of like a sea glassy sort of green, and there's some variegation in there. And I absolutely love this color. It is super, super soft. It's from Joann's. It's not fancy at all. Okay. And I was going to do this in black, and I was like, that's great contrast. So I cast on the black, like I added the black, and I was like, what is wrong with this black? Like, it's way thicker than this. I'm like, because it's worsted weight. Can't use it. Pattern calls for DK weight. Great. So we're in the middle of the night, because Kelly's trying to be. So I was like, remember I had gotten in the other yarn finally from the one place online, and the two grays were super, super close. And I was like, and I didn't want to wait because it was like, that would have been a week longer in starting. And so I went to Joann's and I bought the black and the mint, and I loved them. And I was like, absolutely, because I will wear a black sweater all year round, because it probably not a long sleeve sweater, but I mean, because a black sweater I can get away with in court and stuff. So I was like, okay, this will be great. I can wear it to court. Not a big deal. Okay, so then I was like, well, then I'll just use the gray. Okay, so let me just show you what that looks like. I mean, hang on. Do you see the problem? There's hardly any contrast, which makes it very subtle, which is kind of nice. And I just keep holding my breath that there'll still be enough contrast that at the end of the day, if you're really looking, which will make it better for court, because it won't be like, oh my God, that lawyer's got dinosaurs on her sweater. But if you're up close and you're really looking, you're like, she's got dinosaurs on her sweater. Okay. Okay. So, this is where we're at. You know what I've learned? When you have a chart, and I'll just show you the little part here. When you have a chart like this, do you know where you don't start? Come to find out, now that I'm actually down on this row here, what ends up being 4343. You know where you don't start? Up here. You're actually supposed to start apparently down here. What? Yeah. So, kind of want to cry. Kind of want to quit. Kind of want to be like, what's the point now of me continuing? in this test group. That's a whole lot of wasted time. Now, if I started over, I mean, this is like 2 weeks worth of knitting for me. I'm not a fast knitter. And especially with having to frog already and restitch, and with having to learn so many new techniques, I'm like, I'm a little frustrated with myself. And it is, to be honest with you, sort of killed my joy in this sweater right now. And to be fair to the designer, it's not like I can just, I either have to make there are 3 decisions I can make. And I've talked to the designer, and I can tell you after I give you the options. The first is just keep going the way it is. The second is to restart it. And the third is to totally quit. Okay. As of right now, what will happen is this row and this row are switched. Now, the pattern designer, her name is Mary. She's been fantastic. She's like, no, I'm glad you pointed that out. In every other pattern that I have ever written, and she's designed several, I specifically say where to start. And in this time, I didn't. And that is one of the, everybody else in the group knew because they're very experienced in this style of knitting. I'm completely new to it. And she's like, that's one of the reasons I picked you, is because, and I keep joking, I'm like, look, if I can do the sweater, anybody can do the sweater, because I'm clearly like not experienced in any of these techniques. So if I can do this based on her instructions, and the only thing I haven't done the exact same way is cast on, and she was like, cast on is fine, don't worry about it. I joke, like I said, if I can do the sweater, anybody can do the sweater. It will just take time and patience. So I could just, she's like, just leave it. She's like, that's fine. She's like, it's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. I feel bad because that is not the way her pattern is designed. And she's like, no, but you pointed out a huge issue, which is what I needed my test pattern people to do. So I've been able to help with that. And I'm like, and somewhere up in here too, I've had a couple times where my count got off, and I'm like, I don't know. So while I'm technically knitting in this row, I'm actually knitting that row down here. When I start the stegomosauruses, I will know very specifically where, and so here's, okay, this is so confusing. And the thing is the designer actually lives here in Ann Arbor. Well, I don't live in Ann Arbor, but I'm not that far from Ann Arbor. So if you start reading it from down there, it seems to me, logically, now that I'm looking at this, okay, so she puts the little arrow down here on the chart. Okay, but the dinosaur chart is upside down. Okay, so I'm just going to show you his tail. Oops. Okay, maybe I won't. I'll just show you his tail here. Okay, so I think that's actually, whatever. Here, let's do it this way. If I'm supposed to start down here and work my way up, how much sense does that make? I mean, I understand that then my stegosaurus will be the right side up, but I'm working from the neck down. That makes no sense to my logical brain. Am I the only one? But I will know better. So I think my bigger frustration too is that at one point, while I want it, I want to be able to wear this and feel comfortable in it. So I don't necessarily want, like, some of the people are doing like purple and orange for their sweater, and I'm like, more power to you, girlfriends, because there's no way my fat ass would be able to carry that. I would not feel comfortable ever wearing that. So except for maybe on Halloween. I don't know. Would I admire it on somebody else? every day, and I would love it. Would I wear it? Probably never. And so that's one of the reasons, like, I wanted colors that I knew that I would end up wearing because I put all this time and energy into this. So let me know what I should do. I may take my knitting, honestly, to StitchCon, because the other thing that I did cast on, I think I showed this before. It's for Bruno. It's the little teddy bear, and you knit from here down, and then you have to join the hood. It's very weird. It's not. It's a very confusing pattern. I'm going to tell you. It is stitched. I'm stitching it with chocolate tweed. Again, from Joann's. This yarn is super. First of all, it's 100% acrylic, so it's going to wear like iron. Okay. It is, but it's super soft. So if you're looking to knit like stuff you're going to wear a lot, that may be an option. So this is where I'm at with the teddy bear sweater. As you can see, I have made gigantic progress on this. Honestly, this was one day. So this last week, see, this is, now that I'm talking about it, this is why I didn't get a whole lot done as far as like that whole list. Wednesday night, I ended up helping the student teach my daughter's finger spelling class. Last summer, I designed a game with my partner that our teacher absolutely loved, and it was a great way of learning addresses and rules for numbers and things like that. And it incorporated, you had to be able to do every single one of them, plus names and titles and stuff like that. And so she asked me if I would go back in last Wednesday night and teach the game. And I was like, yes, I can be there. So that sort of took up time as well. Okay. So let's see. I didn't work on this today. I'm sorry, Tina. I guess you'll be able to catch up with me. I did figure out I'm not off on my count. Like, I'm even. I'm good. And I did figure out the purple color that I'm going to use for La. But I did not work on this today. And I'm probably not going to take this to StitchCon. And the reason I'm not taking it to StitchCon is because I randomly pull the flosses for the colors I use. And usually I do it in the moment while I'm sitting here. And so there's no way to, like, I don't want to lug a bunch of extra floss to StitchCon. So right now, the only thing that I'm taking to StitchCon is the periodic table, which isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Am I knitting? Okay, so last week I had talked about the little 3D gingerbread house. And I realized, and I was talking about maybe taking this to StitchCon so that I could finish it. No, it's not going to StitchCon. You know why? And this is why it got put away and it's been on the shelf since I figured it out. It's not that I don't love this project. I absolutely do. There's no cover picture. I can't show you that color picture. And if you want the information on the little 3D house, gingerbread house, let me know. She is a Russian designer on Instagram. And she specializes in 3D houses. And she's got some beautiful patterns. And they're not super, super expensive. Although I will say that unless you have a lot of time to dedicate to it, and that it's probably not the most wise to join her sales, because she is one where she'll give you the part and you can buy in for like $1 or $2, which is great. But then your new part has to, like, that part has to be completely finished, back stitching and everything, by that next, like, within the 6 days, or else you don't get the next part. And she'll give you one, like, I think sometimes she'll give you like one like free week. But by the end of that next week, then you have to make up the part that you were behind and the new part, or you don't get the rest of the pattern. And then what the heck are you supposed to do? Because I ended up in that bind, and she was grateful enough, like with the language barriers, I have the whole pattern, but she was like, well, I ended up having to pay extra. And so the stupid thing cost me like almost $20 for this little pattern. And that doesn't include the templates to finish it. So I'm gonna have to like sort of wing it a prayer. So the reason it's not going to StitchCon is, y'all, like in the one square, I have a shit ton. It is just ungodly amounts of back stitching. It's back stitching, back stitching. The roof is 99% back stitching. And no, that's going to take way too much. Plus, here's the other thing. I'm stitching it on oatmeal Ada, which is fine. It's a gingerbread house, right? The problem is like the white doesn't even show up on it. What are you going to substitute color-wise for the royal icing on the gingerbread house? Can you even see it? Like, at the same time, you can't not have all of the lattice work because that looks ridiculous. So yeah, like, it's, I can show you the little part. I'll show you the little part if I can. See, all of that is back stitching. And those little red dots, I'm doing beads. She has front snots. I have little shiny beads. Yeah, so that's not going to StitchCon. Unless somebody at my table or in the area who's going to be at StitchCon wants to do all the back stitching. It ain't happening. Nope. 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 Okay. All right. Not happening. All right. We worked on Rosie. I love Rosie. Rosie will likely go with me. Honestly, Rosie will likely go with me. She has got a buttload of colors. But she sort of makes me happy. She makes me happy to stitch, to be honest with you. And I know there's still, I've got to figure out a couple more spots where I'm off a little bit. But we're getting to the point where I should be good to go. And I'm also coming up on some areas where I'm going to have big chunks of color. And for me, big chunks of color are those are the kinds of projects that you take to retreats. Monopoly is a contender to go to, and Monopoly is one of my whip go pulls this month, and I haven't worked on it yet, so it works out well. So I did not work on Summertime this last week. I don't know. So we have Knitting That Can Go, we have Rosie, and Monopoly and the periodic table. That's 3 projects. The only other one that maybe I'll take with me is, well, my friend has asked me to take the picture of his parents and work on that. So maybe Kay and Dennis will go. But Summertime will go because I started it there last year. I did not get a chance to work on it this week. I don't know that I'm going to get a chance to work on it before StitchCon, to be honest with you. I just know that I'm busy because tomorrow is homework, and do I have anything in the evening? I have mentoring in the evening for a bit via Zoom. Tuesday is class all day, well, all night kind of thing, from 4 on, really 2 on because I need to go to tutoring. Wednesday, I have some things, and then I have a client meeting in the evening, and then Thursday I want to be up and on the road. Realistically, I'd like to be on the road before 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm considering stopping in Findlay, and I know I'm going to stop in Ada Ohio because I need to stop at my law school. I need to call the one person at the law school to even make sure that it's possible that either I can just drop off the form and have somebody sign it and mail it to me, or if somebody will be there and can just sign it for me, that would be great. So that I can submit that. Because, yeah, hello, I would like to be sworn in to practice in front of the Supreme Court of the United States. That would be freaking amazing. So, okay, so I have worked on this project. This is also my Whip Go call this month. This is a gift, or will be. One of us doesn't die first. This will be a gift for my coach and friend, because right now I don't have an active coach. And that's just because there's no point. What are you going to coach me on? Take a rest day, your back hurts, can't move. So this is Buffalo mat. How the heck do you say that? By Unconventional Cross Stitch. Essentially, it's a full cover. It's the equivalent of a HAPE, but it is very different. So I have put in quite a bit through here already. So I have 2 days in. I have 2 days marked in, but for some reason my brain says it's 3 days in on this out of 10. This will then then it will go away, and it's got another day. This is not going to StitchCon with me. As much as I would love to see more progress on it. This is okay. This is why. It's not that it's a full coverage. That doesn't scare me to take to StitchCon. It's on Pattern Keeper, whatever. This is why it's not going to StitchCon. Because that is a cluster of a mess. And in order to find the next color that I need to work on, I essentially have to dump them all out on the table and rifle through them. Many of them are not even bobbinated yet. And so because this is a disorganized, disheveled mess, and space is at a premium when you're sitting at the tables at StitchCon, that ain't going. Yeah. Let's see, what is this? I finished, this is the only, yes. Those are client files that I've been working on. Likewise, I was thinking I'll take the ABC blocks. What I am going to do on those is I'm going to take extra of the Ada that I use, and I'm just going to draw my squares. I'm not going to worry about cutting them out, because that's part of what's been stalling my progress, is to the thought of like pulling out the huge piece of Ada and breaking, like cutting out the little squares. And I'm just thinking, okay, but I can take my alphabet parts and have those printed out so that I can just work on like B, C, D, and the actual letter, and not the picture part of the block, be done. So that may come, I don't know. I guess Thursday we'll know. And you guys will find out next week when I show you what I worked on. Because, yeah. Okay, so the other thing I worked on this week was by Modern Folk Embroidery. This was my Whip Go pull last month that I had to finish my days on. If you remember, my goal was to get down to this point and then to finish at least one of the 2 birds. And I did it. I did it. I love this piece. My friend's mom has already called dibs on this one. So I really and truly, I don't I stitch and I have but it's like everybody calls dibs on my project, so it's like I don't really have that many that are just for me. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I mean, ideally I'd pull out my sewing machine between now and like next week, but the reality is I'm not going to. I'm not going to happen. So that said, I did not pull out and take care of the pillowcases. So my pile of things to sew has grown monumentally larger in order to catch up. So I'm gonna take out a chunk, and I'm gonna feed the pillowcase square back in. And that's okay because we didn't get it done, and that's what I've been doing on the other. So now this week's this week's 52 card whip pickup, we already know because I looked ahead just to try and plan for StitchCon. So, but for those of you who have your cards, it's the Queen of Diamonds. And for me, that's that little gingerbread house. Now, technically, I did work on it a little bit this week, trying to get it done. Because I was thinking, maybe I can just knock out some of this back stitching, like here and there, and only have, maybe the roof and the base to work on. That would be a big fat no. Because I worked on it for about 10 minutes and was just like, yeah, no, this can go. I think maybe if I had started doing the back stitching in 2 strands of white instead of a single strand of white, it would show up better. Or if I'd gone with a slightly darker fabric, but I don't know how to, like, at this point it's too late to change it. So, yeah, I don't know. So yeah. So I don't know if the 3D gingerbread house will see any more work this week, to be honest, but it did get a little bit of love, and I kind of would like, I don't know if that's what maybe has spurned the loss of the stitchy bug. That, and then like it's very frustrating to not have your flosses organized and just all thrown in the bag like that when you have so many. And so it gets very frustrating. It's like, okay, by the time I find the next floss, then I'm like, forget it. So I'm thinking like the combination of that bag not being organized and then like the back stitching, and knowing that all of that back stitching work is essentially worthless because you can't hardly see it. I think, and then the frustration with the sweater issue. I think that's kind of what's killed my crafting bug. So I don't know. But clearly I've got to do something fairly soon because, yeah, Thursday is pretty damn close. So goals for this week is realistically to just get ready for StitchCon. Anything above and beyond that is just a bonus. So yeah. I am going to take my laptop. I'm hoping not to have to do any work, but who knows? But maybe, again, maybe somebody can show me, like, I don't, like, somebody goes, well, it depends on your video editing. I don't know that I have any. I don't know that I have any video editing software. I know that I have the Adobe Suite. And then I also have Dreamweaver, whatever program Dreamweaver is part of, that umbrella. So I don't know. I don't know. But maybe. Who knows? Again, I'm still not, I'm second guessing myself on the Smalls exchange. And so at the same time, I don't have time to stitch a small. So unless I take something out of my basket that I've already stitched and FFO that, but even finding the time to FFO something and then put together a little package, I don't know that I have time to. So I'm not doing the smalls. I will do the floss drops, because that shouldn't be that hard to throw together and send over to Kinko's, or wherever. I am going to take something for the break table, and Kim, you will be thrilled. I am going to take Mother Vulva to StitchCon. I think Mother Vulva deserves some honor at StitchCon on the break table. So, there is that. That said, though, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to upload this. I am going to head to bed very soon. I have lots of homework to get done tomorrow. I have, so my vocabulary last week, we learned, Friday night, we had Deaf Night Out. The week before, though. The week before. So my word is twat. So twat waffle. It's a slang, obviously. So twat waffle. That was one of my vocabulary words out of 4 that I had to submit. So, I have to do vocabulary again this week. Lord knows what they will be. So, that's it. I'm going to let you guys go. As always, feel free to reach out to me, and I am sending you all the best.